We're back with another transfer portal video, and can I interest any of you Power 5 teams out there in Mikey Williams? I mean, it hasn't worked out so far. He was shooting too many of the wrong type of shots at Memphis and then didn't get much playing time at UCF. He's back in the transfer portal, and it's looking like he is going to commit to UNLV. They're by far looking like the favorites to get him, which I think might be a good spot for him. I think that hopefully he can become a starter, get a bunch of playing time on UNLV, and I really hope that he does turn around his collegiate career, because so far it has pretty much been non-existent. He hasn't gotten to play much, so I really hope that is the case for him. I'd like to see him go somewhere and become a star. We know it's in there somewhere, but in other news, Trey commits from South Carolina. He was one of the top transfer portal prospects this offseason, committed to South Carolina, which seemed like a shocker, and now decommits and is actually looking like the favorites are going to be West Virginia. And if it's not West Virginia, it's looking like Kentucky, but WVU definitely seems like the favorites to be able to pick him up. This does kind of make a lot of sense, because he had already committed to South Carolina before West Virginia even hired their new head coach, Ross Hodge. So now that he is the head coach of West Virginia, he may have been trying to do a little bit of recruiting here and pick up Trayson Eaglestaff. What a pickup that would be, as WVU already recently, within the last week, picked up Honor Huff, the transfer stud, NIT champion at Chattanooga, shot over 40% from the three-point line, already committed to WVU, and Honor Huff has been trying to get Miles Che, the transfer from UC San Diego, and his former teammate at Chattanooga to come to WVU as well. So if Ross Hodge, who already got Honor Huff, can get Miles Che and Trayson Eaglestaff as well, he's going to have me and a bunch of other WVU fans rossing their Hodge. I'll just leave it there. That would be absolutely amazing for a team that is going to have to rebuild their entire roster once again this year. I'm loving Ross Hodge at West Virginia so far. In other updates, Rob Wright has officially committed to BYU. In my opinion, outside of Houston, maybe Texas Tech and Iowa State, I mean, BYU is a clear top 3 or 4 team in the Big 12 already heading into next year, and I would say that they are a clear top 15 to top 10 team already heading into next season, and they are actually trying to get another guy out of the transfer portal that on this list, as far as the top 5 guys that we haven't talked about, he is the number 1 in today's video, and BYU is heavily trying to get him right now, which I think would make them a top 5 team in the country. Also, Pop Isaacs, a guy who originally seemed like he was going to commit to Ole Miss, never really made it official, I guess, ended up going to Houston. Another really good pickup there for Houston, who is going to be bringing back a lot of players from the team that made it to the national championship game last year. Pop Isaacs, I think, can slide right into that LJ Cryer role. I don't know if he's going to be as good as LJ Cryer, because he put up an amazing season, but he is going to be that shooter that Houston needs, and Emmanuel Sharp can be that other shooter. Houston's going to be very scary once again next season. They are not going anywhere. They're definitely going to be a top 5 team heading into the season next year. Trey Holloman committed to NC State to play for Will Wade. Very interesting fit there. I think Trey Holloman is a great team player who is going to be an awesome point guard and leader for this NC State team. Will Wade, you can tell by the veterans he is trying to pick up that he is going to try to compete in the ACC and make NCAA tournaments with the Wolfpack in year 1. You'd love to see it. Also, Jiren Pierre committed to SMU, as I did expect. He was down to them and Ole Miss. Both of them were some pretty good fits for him, I thought, and I think SMU is going to be a place where he can go to a Power 5 conference in the ACC and put up some big-time numbers. I suspect that SMU is going to be right on the bubble once again next season. They may be able to sneak into the NCAA tournament, especially if Jiren Pierre Jr. is going off. A few more updates as far as players that we have talked about but haven't committed anywhere yet. We do have Xavian Lee, the transfer from Princeton, a very sought-after transfer. transfer. It looks like he is going to go to Florida. I feel pretty confident about that. They need a new point guard after their national championship win. Their star, Walter Clayton Jr., was a senior and will be heading into the NBA draft, so they need a replacement point guard. Xavian Lee seems like a really good fit for that team. It is looking like he is going to be a Florida Gator. Ian Jackson kind of switched up on me. I thought that it was between St. John's and Arkansas. I'm not even sure Arkansas is in the running for him anymore. It is looking like the top 4 teams are going to be Georgia, St. John's, NC State, and also Kentucky. And Kentucky's in on just about everybody. They are really using that money in the transfer portal, as you would expect them to. But honestly, it's looking like the 2 favorites are Georgia and St. John's. So those two kind of unexpected. I mean, St. John's, I really think they need to go all in on Ian Jackson. It seems like they were really trying to get him and also Xavian Lee, and I think Xavian Lee is going to go to Florida, so I think St. John's needs to go all in on Ian Jackson. They have to try to outbid Georgia and do everything they can to get Ian Jackson to come to St. John's. That would be an awesome fit for that team because he can actually shoot behind the three-point line. He is a great shooter and a player that has the upside of being a top 10 lottery NBA draft pick next year and can be a superstar next year. So St. John's, I feel like they need to go all out on Ian Jackson because I feel like they struck out on Xavian Lee and they've been striking out a little bit this transfer portal season. So Rick Pitino needs to get Ian Jackson, but I think it's down to St. John's and Georgia. Outside shot of NC State and Kentucky picking him up. Now, 5 new players that have entered the transfer portal that are going to be very high impact players on their new teams. Let's get right into it. Just want to say real quick, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Hit that like button if you guys enjoy. And if you guys have any information on your team trying to pick up any of the top portal prospects, drop it down in the comment section so I can research it more. And yeah, guys, let's get into this top 5. So coming in here at number 5, we do have Cedric Coward, the transfer from Washington State, who only played 6 games last season, but man, he made some noise in those 6 games. He put up 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists on 56% shooting from the field and over 40% from behind the three-point line. And he has put his name into the NBA draft to test the waters a little bit there. It's not looking like he is going to commit to declaring to the NBA draft, but there are some very good programs trying to get Cedric Coward, and those teams are Alabama, Florida, Kansas, Duke, Washington. Those are his official top 5 teams, and it's looking like the top 3 are Alabama, Florida, and Kansas. I don't really necessarily have a prediction as to which one of those 3 teams he is going to go to, but I think all 3 of those teams do have a foot in the race, and they do have a chance at picking him up, and what a pickup it would be. Next up, coming in here at number 4, we got Jamir Watkins, the transfer from Florida State. He averaged 18 points per game last season, 5 rebounds per game, and 2 assists per game at Florida State last season. And again, some really good teams heading after him. It is looking like a 2-man race for Jamir Watkins between Kentucky and Louisville, 2 teams who have been very, very active in the transfer portal and were not shy about spending some money in the transfer portal. I think both these teams have a legit shot at him. It is looking like he is going to be playing basketball in the state of Kentucky next season, but for which one of these programs? Also, Illinois, Arkansas, outside chance of them being able to get him. I think it's between Kentucky and Louisville, but outside chance of Illinois and Arkansas as well. Next up, coming in here at number 3, we do have a sophomore from St. Joseph's. That's right, a sophomore, still has at least 2 years of eligibility remaining and averaged 17 points per game last season, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists for St. Joe's last season, and is looking like the top team going after him right now is going to be the Oklahoma Sooners. This is looking like it is going to be Porter Moser's guy heading into next season. They're going to need a scoring guard like this for next season, as they are going to lose their star freshman in Jeremiah Fears, who is going to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft this season, and that would be an excellent pickup for them. Xavier Brown looking like a Oklahoma Sooner. I'd say the next team that is trying to get him, Nate Oates and Alabama, are trying to do some work there to get him, but I would predict him to go to the Sooners. Next up at number 2, we have a transfer also from the A-10 Conference from St. Louis, and that is Isaiah Swope. I was actually kind of surprised that he did enter the transfer portal. Some people were saying that he does need to get an extra year of eligibility granted because he did play 3 years at Division I and 1 season at Division II, so it is possible he does have 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's trying to get that granted, but there are some teams in the transfer portal trying to pick him up. He did average 17 points per game last season, 4 rebounds and 3 assists as a guard for the Billikens last season, and the 2 teams I see really trying to pursue him, Michigan State and Indiana. 2 very good teams, 2 historic programs, of course. Michigan State is going to need a guard. I feel like he could definitely step into that Trey Holloman role and fill that hole that he did leave there. They are also going to lose Jace Richardson to the NBA draft, so they need some guards. They need some shooting. Isaiah Swope can definitely fill that role. That would be my prediction. Also, Indiana on the mix on him as well. I feel like he will get that extra year of eligibility granted as well. Next up at number 1, and that is Darien Williams from Texas Tech, who had a huge role in this team and especially in their Elite 8 run this past season, and he is testing the NBA draft waters a little bit. I don't think he's going to get drafted. He did average 15 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 3 assists as a forward for Texas Tech last season. Like I said, was going on a tear, averaging 20 plus per game throughout the NCAA tournament, and really put on some great performances, and really kind of was the guy in the clutch through a lot of situations through the tournament for Texas Tech this season on that Elite 8 run. And surprisingly, this was the player I was talking about, BYU actually in the mix for. And I will say, if BYU can pick up Darien Williams, they would have a starting lineup of Rob Wright, Richie Saunders, AJ Dibansa, Darien Williams, and Kiba Keita, which would be maybe the best team in the country. That would be an insane roster. Darien Williams is actually, BYU might actually be the favorite to land him. It is kind of early. He hasn't made any official visits yet, as he is kind of focused on the NBA draft a little bit. I would say he does withdraw his name from the NBA draft here soon and does start making some official visits, and I would expect BYU to be on that list. So look out for the Cougars. They are already looking like a potential top 10 team next season. If they add Darien Williams, they are going to be very, very dangerous and possibly national championship contenders as well. But let me know, is there anybody that I am missing out in this video? I know that there are a ton of transfers out there. We're going to have more videos like this coming out, guys, as well. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new. We have some good stuff upcoming as well, including NBA mock drafts. So if you're interested in that, be on the lookout. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.